Hello everyone, it's Caribbean E. Welcome to the channel. Hope everybody just having a wonderful and a marvelous day and that you are in the best of health. Today I'm coming with another video. It's entitled Retirement Perspective, the Injury Edition. Retirement Perspective, the Injury Edition. This video goes out to all of my homies that know the weatherman who is now retired living in the Caribbean and enjoying life, because life is to be enjoyed. Hope you guys having a wonderful day. Or to all of my Republic Services homies all over the universe, okay? No matter what city or state you work for, it's all about taking care of yourself and taking care of your bodies. So that's what this video is about. So, things happen on your jobs. Some of us have some very, very hazardous jobs. Some of us have hazardous jobs that we don't even get properly paid for, because there's hazards to these jobs. From being a fireman, from being a policeman, especially from being a garbage man, a trash collector, or we call it a sanitation engineer, to make it not sound so bad or smell so bad. So, there's very things that the trash collector should be concerned about. And all you that have these other hazardous jobs, like construction or anything else that you do, if it's a hazard, call it what it is. And accidents and injuries do happen. You got to take care of your body now in this COVID-19 season. And make sure you're doing the right things at the right time. A lot of these guys that's working in the sanitation industry work long hours. You guys work in the cold. You guys work in the summer. Now let's break that down. Talking about the weather conditions, which can either make you or break you. Because dangerous jobs come with hazards. It's that simple. They come with hazards. So, if you're a trash collector and you work in New York City, and you gotta work in that snow and ice in January, February, March, that's a hazard. And I take my hat off to you guys. Tip my hat to you guys. That's like combat job. When you gotta lift them heavy couches that got pull-out beds in them with that metal frame, it's tough. But if you keep moving, you get warmed up a little bit. But it's something to be in a city like New York and Chicago and Detroit and DC and Philadelphia, in that ice cold, when it gets about 10 degrees or 5 degrees, you guys still got to be out there picking that trash up. Then let me walk to Vegas. Let me jump on a plane and fly to Vegas right quick and look at how the sanitation engineers are doing in Vegas, where I worked at for 29 years. The hazard is, to me, the worst part of working in Vegas is working during the summer heat. It's just that simple. Because either it's going to make you or break you. And sometimes a company is trying to break you and put you out there in a truck that don't have AC in it. Now, if the truck temperature is almost 200 degrees just inside the truck, and you got the windows rolled down, trying to work, and you're going down the street and you got hot air blowing in your face, especially after it rained, because it gets real humid. And that dry heat ain't no joke. In the middle of July and August, And you're sweating your brains out, but it's still a dry heat. It's not like on the East Coast where you got to take a shower every 30 minutes. And living in the Caribbean, the same thing. You sweat like a bull. So, I encourage you to take care of yourself, know the conditions, drink lots of water, because the company gives you water, so there's no excuse not to drink it. Some guy be trying to move so fast, because they be like, I got to get this garbage before 12 o'clock, before the hottest part of the day. Well, congratulations if you can do that. But if your routes are really, really big, you putting wear and tear on your body, you ain't drinking the water like you should. After a while, your kidneys will fail and you will drop dead in the heat. I'm telling you. I seen a guy, or heard of a guy, that was on one of our trucks in Cheyenne. He's on a regular route then before we got the automated at Cheyenne. The guy just started. And I think he was just a couple weeks in. He got to the route, stepped off the truck, and dropped dead, hit the ground. He didn't know what hit him. So, this type of job of ripping and running from the bulk trucks to the other garbage trucks, it can do wear and tear on your body. Because like I said, if the truck temperature gauge is 199 degrees, and if it's 115 and 16 degrees outside, you got all that heat coming at you. So, I've seen the company break a lot of people for the weather conditions. And if you don't take care of yourself, you will not survive this environment. And I tip my hat off again to all the guys that work for Public Services that's in Phoenix, Arizona. Because they get hotter than us. They get up to 118, 120. That Death Valley temperature that'll make a man drop to his knees fast as he can say his prayers. So, these jobs are very hazardous. One must be very careful at work, because if you get hurt on your job, it's a game changer. Now you listen to me. If you get hurt on the job, it's a game changer. You got a big career out, you want to do this, you want to do that, but as soon as you get hurt, you got to report that injury, stop the truck and report it when it happens. If you come back in the next day and say you got hurt yesterday, that's grounds for termination. And they can let you go as fast as you can blink your eye. So when you get hurt, party stops. I'm calling first aid, I'm calling the foreman, because I got to report this injury. You guys that work on the transit or wherever you work at in New York or wherever state, Colorado, Oklahoma, Texas, California, wherever state you at, if you have a hazardous job, you get hurt, you better report it. And don't delay. So, you will get injured at some point, sooner or later. Big corporations always think that you're trying to get over on them at every level. When you get hurt, you will be taken to the medical facility for evaluation. They'll check you out and see how extensive your injuries are. Also, the company has their own doctors that they want to take you to at times and refer you to, because their doctors are in their pockets. So, if you go to a company doctor, there's risk involved, because a company doctor is like a company man. He's always going to look out for the company. And at the end of the day, you're going to end up at the wrong end of the lake. It's better for you, my advice to you, to get your own private doctor. Let him evaluate you. And if you get hurt real bad, broken leg, fractured ankle, fingers messed up, get your personal injury doctor. Because they know how to deal with those cases. They know how to deal with them big shop corporate lawyers. that these corporations pay them hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to represent them and to save them money. Like I said, it's a game changer when you get hurt. It's a game changer. There's some corporations, there's some jobs that will always think that you're lying and you're not telling the truth. When you get hurt, they're going to investigate you, put your injuries under investigation. They want to know when it happened, why it happened, and what could have prevented it from being happened. So I tell them when it happened, April 13th, why it happened, because I was doing my job, but this happened. I didn't do anything to cause it, but it happened. Something flew out the hopper, hit me upside the head, hit me upside the face, hit me in the jaw. I needed stitches. I was bleeding. I told them what day it happened, what time it happened, and when it happened. And then they ask you, what could you have done to prevent this accident from happening? Well, I simply looked at him and smiled and said, stay home. Not come to work today. Stay in my bed. Wash my car. Go do some laundry. Okay? That's the only thing. Because and they don't like to hear that. Because they think that their jobs are injury, accident proof. They think that it's impossible for you to get injured at work. That's why they keep throwing those safety awards at you. 25 points here, 25 points there. But for the most part, some of the guys don't work safe because they're trying to get done. So they're slamming everything. Because that's what we were trained to do. That's what we were told to do back in the day. So we slammed everything trying to get out of the heat. But you got to remember the routes are big, a lot bigger now than they was back in the day. Because you can run through your route and get your route done before it got too hot. But it's a different season now. So you will be taken to the medical facility for care. You can't return to work unless you be cleared by a medical doctor. That's why it's good to have your own private doctor. He knows your injuries. You paying him. He's going to look out for your best interest. He knows how long it's going to take you to get back on your feet. He's not going to ride a slip and bring you back to work and you still have open wounds. Because I've heard of horror stories. I've seen people come back to work. They still bleeding. Their stitches ain't healed. But the company wanted to push to get them back to work from one of these company doctors. So, the company has its own doctors. And like I said, if you come back to work and you're still injured, then that's just going to make the injury even worse. And it's going to take you even longer to recover. This is a political issue that companies play. When injured, when you're injured, they refer you to your own private doctor for recovery before return to work. But like I said, you got to hire an attorney to handle your business. Hire an attorney. Also heard of people and seen people get killed at work because of something that they didn't do. Maybe they didn't set the brake right on the truck and the truck rolled back and smashed them. Or they fell asleep from behind the wheel. Or they went too fast around the curve, not realizing that their load had shifted and turned the truck over. Because you can turn the truck over in public services, I tell you, that's like a death sentence on your career. If you go around the corner and you rip it around and you fly and you turn the truck over, you can forget it. Because they're going to look at you, they're going to overestimate the situation. They're not going to take into consideration that your route is bigger than the city of Miami. Okay? And you trying to run to get up out that heat or trying to run to get up out that cold. They're not going to look at that. They're not going to look at your life. You're trying to get home, get dinner on the stove. They ain't going to look at any of that. They're just going to say, you rip and run. We don't care how big the route is. You got to do it safe. It takes you all day. But you could have killed somebody. Therefore, we're going to think twice about hiring somebody with your current credentials. Also, I like to say to my brothers that are public services and whatever company you work for, keeping yourself safe is an inside job. Keeping yourself healthy is an inside job. Because I work with some guys in public services, and their blood pressure be so high, it be higher than the Empire State Building. They eat the wrong things. They don't get their sleep. They don't check their cholesterol levels. Some of them are overweight. Out there working in that 118-degree heat. And sooner or later, it's just a combination of things. So now the DOT has increased the strenuous qualifications and requirements. All of you that have a CDL, you are required to go take a physical either every year or every 2 years. I had a problem with my blood pressure because I wasn't taking care of myself. I got a lot of stress on me. I was in a bad situation in life. So I went to my doctor. I said, hey man, my blood pressure, this is ridiculous. I'm out here working in this heat every single day. Some day I got air in my truck, some day I don't, and most days I didn't have air, sweat like a Russian bull at 12 noon. I said, man, you got to prescribe something for me because this ain't working. So I went in there, went to see my doctor. He put me on 2 pills, gave me 1 blood pressure pill, and then gave me another pill, 5 milligrams. I don't think it was a water pill, to help my blood pressure level out. There ain't no sense of taking blood pressure medicine and your blood pressure is still higher than the Sears Center in Chicago. That's ridiculous. Okay, you taking medicine and your blood pressure is still hitting the moon and bouncing back. That is ridiculous. So why take that chance on your life, on your own health? Because then you're no good to yourself, your family, or nobody else. So, some of these guys come back and they got to bring the paperwork back to the company. And some of them that should have a 2-year certification got sometimes either 1 year, 6 months. I see them low as 3 months. One of the guys I work with, a good friend of mine, I refer him to my doctor because his blood pressure was high as the sky. He's a Mexican guy, big heavyset guy. But his blood pressure was high as the Empire State Building. And he went to my doctor, and my doctor said to him, man, I don't see how you walked in here. Your blood pressure is extremely high. So he told him to go to see another doctor, your own private doctor, get some medicine, get on that medicine, get on a regimen, so you can blame that blood pressure, get control of your blood pressure, because I could have dropped dead too, out there in the heat, and I'm out there seeing stars. So, it's just hard. It's hard to even think about my days when I was out there. Because some days I felt like I was going to just drop dead and I wasn't going to make it. But God brought me through that, and I'm very happy about that. Sometimes I get just a little touch when I talk about the stuff that I've been through with this company. So, I referred my friend to see a doctor, and he's probably on his meds. He's probably doing a lot better right now. But I'm telling you, you got to take care of yourself. We also had incidents at work where we saved customers from losing their lives. We also had incidents that deal with safety out there on the routes where guys in trucks wasn't paying attention and they run to the trucks to the back of people. Some people got hurt, some people got killed. The company had to take full responsibility. And I know the company's insurance right now is sky high because every accident that they have, they cost some millions to keep their insurance. So, if you get hurt and you don't report it again to the company, that's grounds for termination. They can get rid of you fast if you can blink your eyes. But some people fake their injuries trying to get the money out of the company. And they make it bad for the good guys. They come to the company, they hate the job, they can't do the job, they're not fit for the job. They come in, a couple weeks, they get hurt. And for the most part, if you're a newbie and you get hurt, you might as well write yourself off because you're done. Because they're going to have to watch you every 5 minutes. And every time you report something, you might as well just stick a fork in it. You're done. If you've been on the job for a while, you're working years, never injuries, but if you get hurt, then you got to report it. And they got to take care of it. So it's just too much at stake to come to work and report a fake injury. It's too much. This is why people don't report their injuries, because they want to work through it to avoid any unnecessary problems from the company. And I did it lots of times. Sometimes when you get injuries and you get injured, you don't want to report it to the company, because they will come down on you like a ton of bricks, watch you, and harass you, because they don't want to pay not a dime more than what they want to pay. They'll support other stuff in the community, but when it comes to your health and your welfare, you're going to have to get on the back of the bus. That's just how it goes. You will have to get on the back of the bus. So, protect yourself. Watch your surroundings. You guys that's on a bulk truck, watch how you lift. I've talked to lots of guys that work at the Henderson transfer station, that had back surgeries. Some guys' backs will never be the same again. And for that problem, we thank all of our customers that put dirt in the bottom of their cans and paper on top of it. Or they're cleaning up taking out the old grass, putting new grass in it in Vegas. I've seen that happen too. And every week you go by, they got more grass and dirt in the bottom of that can. You lift it. It's about 80, 90 pounds. And there is a weight limit that they give you. So they say, I think 70 pounds a piece. So me and my pitcher is lifting 140 pounds together. You got 70, he got 70. Now, since we don't have no weight scales on the truck, we can't tell how heavy it is. We can only just get a feeling how heavy it is. So I've had some stops where I went out there and I said, it's too heavy, and I called it in, control 1. Then I get another phone call. They say, you left that man's can. I went by and checked it. It ain't heavy. Go back and get it. So you go back and get it, and it's still heavy. And some of the customers are looking through the little blinds in their home because they got nothing else to do but sit back and make your life a living hell. Now, not everybody, but I would say half of our customers that we deal with purposely put some of the heaviest stuff out there and think that you're Hercules or Samson and want you to lift it without injury. I don't think so. Okay? It's a hazardous job. Some people throw chemicals out. Now we're dealing with chemicals. But some of these guys are running so fast, they're just dumping cans and they ain't looking and seeing what they're dumping. They had a guy dump battery acid in the hopper. Battery acid all over the place. And I had to turn, because I smelled it, and I turned and got out of the way. We got on his skin, got on his clothes, we got a call down. Foreman got to come out, check things out, try to figure out what address. But people are allowed to put just as much as they want out in Vegas. Unlimited trash. So, you're in a war zone each day you go to work, fellas. Whether you're automated whether you roll off, whether you're front loader, especially front loader, you push them heavy containers every day where the wheels are broken. You got to be very, very careful. Then at the end of the day, they want you to get behind the blade and clean that hot truck out. Don't forget, it's still over 100 degrees back there. At least over 100, and I would say over 115 degrees. By the time you get to the yard, at the end of the day, the back of that truck, the heat and all the compression, everything, it's 115 degrees back there. I've done it many a days, many a times. I've lived it. And you don't have to give me a temperature gauge because I know how hot it is. I look at my cell phone to tell me how hot it is. And certain parts of Vegas is hotter than other areas. So if at my home, if it's 110 degrees at my house, when I pull out and I drive all the way 30 minutes to Henderson, it's 115 all day long, all day strong. So watch your surroundings, drink plenty of water, because this is the prime time now, especially on the West Coast. And even on the East Coast too. It's on the East Coast too. East Coast too. You got the humidity, you got the heat, you got the COVID. A lot of people are still home. This COVID thing is really sweeping to the West Coast now. Los Angeles is getting slammed. So all you guys that work for public service out there, I tip my hat to you guys. Or whatever construction job that you're working on, whether you're doing tile on a roof or whatever. Because in the hot parts of the day in Vegas, the guys that work on the roof and laying tile, they get out there before the sun come up. Because by the time it get hot, before 3 o'clock, they're gone. That's smart thinking. But at jobs at Republic Services, when you start your shift from 7 in the morning, from 7 to 5, it's hard to do that. Because there's always somebody going to call in on you, saying you missed a stop, all this kind of stuff. And I dealt with it. And I picked up cans where the bottom fell out. I picked up boxes where the bottom fell out because it had been raining. People put it out there anyway. I picked up couches. Multiplicity of couches. You can get a stop that's half the sidewalk deep with nothing but junk on the ground. And you got to stay there and pick everything up. Sometimes we carry a broom and a shovel on the truck. Give good customer service. Stay out there and clean it up. And we tell the foreman, hey, because he asks us, why you guys still out there? Well, it's heavy out here. Sometimes they push you, talk negative to you, talk disrespect to you, some of the foremen. And then sometimes they talk to you nice and gentle and say, okay, well, we'll send you some help or do the best you can. And then some days they'll just push and push you into an injury. So that's why you got to go out there and take your time and make sure you're doing the right thing at the right time, because you know what? You never know who's watching you. So injuries can happen anywhere, anytime. You can be an MTA bus driver in New York and you got slush and ice on the ground. You can slip getting on the bus or slip getting off the bus. You got to make sure that you watch every step that you take. And this is just a safety message to all of my homies. No matter what you do, if you got that job out there, whether you work for a sanitation company, whether you work for a transportation company, or whatever company you work for, whether you lay tile on the roof, you got to be careful. Even if you work around pools and you're putting chemicals in the pools, there's so much to be careful for now. So much you got to watch out for, because accidents do happen. So I just wanted to put that out there, especially for all the newbies that just started working for Republic Services or any type of union or any type of corporation. You got to know how the game works. And I hope you take some information from this video. Whether you feel that it's negative or positive, this is real talk. This is something that I experienced in my 29 years of working for a sanitation company. Good days and bad days. Some days you got to work through it because you know you want your paycheck to be right by Friday. You don't want your money to get funny. Because all you guys that are still working and still willfully employed, you're blessed. And some people would love to have that job, but you got to condition yourself for that job. Because my first time I went to work for Public Services, it wasn't with Public Services, it was Silver State Disposal. I'll never forget my first job, and I got on the back of that truck, my first route, I went with this guy by the name of Renard. And I don't know if he still worked for Republic or not, but he worked out of Cheyenne. And I mean, this guy wore me out. My shift started from 1 to 9. From 1 to 9. And so now you're working at the hottest part of the day. But I was dragging, my tongue was hanging out by 5 o'clock. I thought I was literally ready to leave this earth. I had my head bent over, doing like this, panting, trying to breathe, I was weak. My body wasn't conditioned for the heat. It was in the middle of the summer, and I just started working for Silver State Disposal. After I finished that first day, I went home and said, this is it. Done. Stick a fork in it. I'm never returning. So I kind of went to my foreman and talked to him and said, man, this ain't it. This ain't it. So I went home, got myself together, thought about the whole situation, said, you know what? I got to take care of my family. We're in this house. Got a car note. We're in this house. Probably got hospital bills coming. We're in this house. We're in the house, y'all. So I went back to work, talked to one of the foremen. He said, okay, well, we'll tell you what. We'll put you on a different shift. We'll put you on a 3 to 11. And I said, great, I'll try that. Now, 3 o'clock in the morning in Vegas, it's still 90 to 95 degrees at some places. It's 3 o'clock in the morning in the summer. So you get kind of like a little break at night. When the sun comes up, you better have your route half finished back in those days. Because if not, that sun will cook you like a piece of fried chicken. Just like Mom used to make. So you want to hurry up and get that route done before it get hot. And those were the good old days. Because for the most part, we worked from 3 till 7 and then take a break, go dump the truck and come back. And by 9 o'clock, we finished. 9 o'clock, 9:30, we're done. Go to the yard, clock out 10:30, go home and go to bed. But that shift was from 3 in the morning to 11 in the morning. But it was a lot better on my body because now I don't have to deal with that 115 to 118 degree temperature. Truck was cooler at night. I get my route done a lot faster. And that's how I really started. Getting energy, getting smarter, driving the truck, moving the truck. My best days was that 3:11 shift. But now the guys go in at 7 in the morning in Henderson and work from 7 to 5, sometimes 6. I worked late as 9 o'clock one time in Cheyenne because the route was really huge and they didn't send me no help. So I stayed out there because I come to get paid. And I went and I told the GM the next day, and I called him that same night. I said, they left us out here. And I said, we still here doing this, doing that, da-da-da-da. So I called the GM because I had his cell phone, a number on my phone. He called the foreman, told the foreman, get those guys to the yard. Figure out what they got left. They can get it the next day or have somebody else get it. But get them guys off the clock, get them guys to the yard. Back in those days, it was abuse like these days is too. And like I always say sometimes, it's like modern day slavery. Okay? So you got to watch your back. You got to watch your injuries. You got to watch where you step. Because people are throwing away, putting out all kinds of stuff. From engine oil to transmission oil to glass to cactus to palm leaves that got the stickers sticking out 6 inches. sometimes 8 inches, that's sticking out. You grab it wrong, it will puncture you. You will bleed. You're not Superman. And you will get cut. So you got to watch yourself. So the young brothers that are just starting out in the trash division, be careful. Where you step, how you step. Things are slippery. Things work a lot different when it's raining. I worked in a pouring down rain where I couldn't see 3 feet in front of me. They didn't want us to stop the truck and pull up. They wanted to keep working through the pouring down rain. And I can imagine you guys on the East Coast, you got a blizzard. They want you to go out there and get that garbage, put it on that truck. Because that's what you get paid to do. So, I just wanted to give you guys some good sound information on liabilities and injuries. Because this job is hazard and only a fool would think different. And like I said, I had close friends of mine that they had back surgeries. They're on the operating table. They had to open up their back, put some screws, nuts and bolts in their backs. And then they had to end up still paying them on top of the back surgery. Thousands of dollars. The company had to write a check. Because it's a hazardous job. Sometimes you pick up stuff. Sometimes you grab stuff. And it's how you grab, it's how you lift. They got exercises to show us how to lift things and how to grab things. Sometimes you can lift something real, real heavy with the other guy, and if you can turn wrong or twist wrong, you still can hurt something on your internal inside on an injury. You can pull a muscle. Anywhere you can pull a muscle. Thigh muscle, groin muscle, ankle. Some guys jump off the truck too fast, too soon. Fracture an ankle. All these things could happen. So please be careful, be aware of your surroundings, and understand that when you get injured, injuries is a game changer. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. So in the meantime, between the time, life is to be enjoyed. Don't forget that subscription notification. And guess what? We'll see you on the next video. May you all stay safe and have a wonderful transition as you work and push for retirement. Peace.